About 2 weeks ago, I left on a road trip. I enjoy traveling, and especially when I can get my convertible, put the top down, and drive for hundreds of miles. Last week, I went to visit a friend in the Black Hills area of South Dakota, but I'm not one that wants to drive on the interstate highways. I took a series of back roads through northern Nebraska and through the grasslands called the Sandhills, mostly pasture ground, and it's staggeringly beautiful. I stopped in a small town at lunchtime and had a bite to eat. There was a couple who were probably 75, maybe, who came in and they ordered sandwiches, and they sat across the room from me, carrying on this private conversation. And they leaned in towards each other and spoke quietly. It's just something about watching people. I enjoy it. I make little mental notes about what I've seen and what I've heard, and I hope it doesn't sound like I'm spying. That's not the intent at all. I just like to study people and watch their mannerisms, maybe make up little stories in my head about what they're actually doing. So I stopped in a small town of Valentine, Nebraska. That's where I had lunch. And it's a touristy town out in the middle of nowhere. The Niobrara River runs through town, and there are campsites, camping, canoeing, kayaking. You start to get a few pine trees in the area. And then after that, after you get to Valentine, the next 300 miles is just wide open, rolling grasslands with the only trees will grow down in the valleys. Cottonwoods primarily. They'll grow where there's a little water. And there's cattle scattered across all the hillsides. I remember once pulling to the side of the road and watching as a small group of cattle went to a water tank, and there was a windmill pumping. It was slowly turning in the wind and pumping water out of the ground into this tank for the cattle to drink from. And it just relaxes me. This long gray ribbon of asphalt in front of me and hardly any traffic. Rarely did I see a car. It's unbroken grasslands covered with an enormous blue sky. And I just enjoy it. Further down the road, when I got to Shadron, Nebraska, I turned north towards Rapid City, and I skirted the eastern side of the Black Hills. I've been to the Black Hills dozens of times in my life, and the traffic this time of year gets pretty bad. So I tried to stay away from that, and went up the east side of the Black Hills to Rapid City, and then on out to see my friend who lives north and west of Rapid City. It's a friend I've had for 20 years, more than that actually, and he and I were in a band together in our youth. I think I was 35 when I joined the band. That's when most people are retiring from the band, but it was a lot of fun. We spent hours and hours practicing and playing in public, and so the reason I was going was he invited me to his home for a few days. He had recorded an album of music that he had written. He asked me to come out and record some harmony vocal tracks in a recording studio with him. And I really looked forward to doing that, and it was a lot of fun. After spending a few days with him and catching up with him and his wife, it was time to head back. And rather than head back through the same route, I decided that I would go a different route. I do not like to backtrack. I always enjoy finding new sites. So when I left, I took a state highway through southern South Dakota, through the Badlands of South Dakota, which are amazing. If you ever get a chance, don't skip that opportunity. They're beautiful. They're desolate, but you would enjoy it. Roads are good. After passing through the Badlands, I entered into an area that was more grassland, actually through the Rosebud Sioux Indian Reservation. As I was driving along, I saw a single horse standing on a rise in a pasture in a grassland area to my left, and I slowed down, and it was a paint. I don't know if you understand what that is. The paints are white and brown and tan and beautiful horses, and there was a trail of dust rising behind him. And so as I slowed, I saw more horses coming. And so I pulled to the side of the road and just watched, just soaked in the moment. Approximately 100 paint horses came and surrounded the sentinel, the one standing by himself. And it was just an opportunity that I will cherish for a long time. It was beautiful. The weather was perfect. The sky was crystal clear, kind of a gray blue color. The ground around the horses was a pale tan with tufts of green grass growing through it. It was a beautiful sight. After leaving the horses and starting back towards home, the grasslands grew into more pasture ground. Some corn and beans started to show up. And before long, I was back in my own surroundings, I guess. Where I live, you need to drive about 100 miles or more to get away from the agricultural farm ground of corn and soybeans that grow around where I live. And I think maybe that's one of the things that attracts me to the style of travel that I do is that I can stop. It's not like an airplane where you're flying over the top of it. You can pull to the side of the road and take a minute and absorb what's going on. And I really enjoy that. It was very enjoyable, relaxing for me. My name's Dan. I'm with the Retirement Shift YouTube channel. I'd love to hear your story. Is that a way you like to travel? Do you like a road trip? Or would you just as soon get there as quickly as possible? Jump in an airplane and be there. To me, the journey is just as important or more important than the destination. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Hit the subscribe button if you want. I'd love to hear your story. Again, thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk again very soon.